Okay, today I'm going to be changing front shocks on my 1996 Toyota T100 truck. It's been riding kind of rough lately. General rule of thumb is to change them every 50,000. I have about 30,000 on these, but I've been going through some rough roads, so they're really kind of toast. So I'm just going to go ahead and swap them out, and I'm just going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to jack it up and take off the wheels with my impact wrench. If you don't have an impact wrench, you'll have to break lug nuts on the ground level first before you jack it up. Okay, there's the shock. There's the nut up here. 2 bushings in between and 2 metal washers between them. And over here you have the bottom, and you have 2 bolts that hold them in. And underneath this control arm, there's the bolt heads. They're 12 mil. Need a socket with a 3-inch extension on it. Go ahead and take those off. Okay, I got the bottom bolt off, and now I'm going to take this top nut. It's a 14. I'm just going to use a box wrench there, and it should just drop down. And you fish it through the hole. So here you are. One way to tell is if they're really bad, push them down. If they don't come up at all, I mean, they're bad, but these are coming up slowly. These are still kind of good, but I'm just going to replace them because the ride is pretty rough. I think they're pretty worn out. Keep these bushings and nuts and bolts just in case you don't get any new ones with your replacement. Okay, here's the new shock. And you get a new bag of hardware with shock. And what you'll notice is this bottom bracket is angled. So because the control arm is angled, so kind of put it in the way that you think that would be the right angle, because otherwise it's not gonna go on right. So if you're having trouble putting on those bottom bolts, it's probably because you have this on the wrong way. So they're kind of hard to see in the video here, but they're kind of angled a little bit. So put it on the way that the control arm is angled, so it'll go on a lot better. Compression. I'm going to compress it here, and it does go up slow, but at least it does go up. And then on the other side, on the driver's side, it wasn't going up, so that one was shot. So here's the new ones, and here's a little trick. A little bottle jack to kind of put underneath the control arm to hold the bottom part of the shock up, and you just kind of pump it up. Because that shock, so you could get that shock in place, and so it could hold the shock as you bolt it on. So it's kind of like an extra set of hands. So you could pre-assemble this if you want, the bottom part. Put it on like that, and then you can put the top on once you get it slid through. Okay, I'm gonna put on the bottom, the shock. And like I said, put the bottom bracket at the angle that you think would work best. With the angle of these control arms leaning out like that. And you just fish it up in the bottom. And what I'll do is I'll attach the top with the bushings and the washers for it, and the nut just to hold it in place while I get the bottom installed. So it's hand tight. Okay, now bottom. Now I'm going to get my bottle jack and kind of place it under there, because I see this shock does need to be pushed up a little bit. and being under charge here, this shock is not going to want to hold its place while you get the bolts in. And I put a little NICs on these bolts. Would help in the future to get them off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plump up the bottle jack. I put a little rag at the bottom of it so I don't scratch up this shock so it doesn't get so rusty. Probably, you don't have to do that if you don't want. So I'm just kind of guiding it, pumping it, kind of feeling it, get it on the meaty part of the shock, and pump it up and kind of guide it through. Okay, now I can kind of see that it might be the wrong angle. So what I'm going to do is lower down this bottle jack. Alright, it looks like I gotta kind of remove this. So it looks like I can't turn it while it's in there. And then so I'm unscrewing the top here. Now I can take it down and twist it 180 degrees. Now I lost my nut there. Okay, let's try that again. I dropped my washer and nut and it fell in the frame. Be careful as you do this, don't drop it into the frame. There's like a perfect spot where it falls into the frame. Worst case scenario, I still have my old hardware, but I really didn't want that those nuts and washers rattling in the frame. If you could get them out, that would be the best, which I did. So I'm going to go ahead and jack up this bottle jack. Now I have it on the right angle. And jack it up, and you kind of hold it and guide it as it goes up. Once your bracket on the bottom's lined up, you kind of start your bolts. I got this one started.
Oh, I assume you're under there.
Yeah, hey, Mr. Vallis.
Not to get a sunburn.
Yeah.
What do you do, put new brakes?
Yeah, new shocks.
Uh-huh.
Getting
Looks
those.
like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've done it before.
All I can do is pay through the nose.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, got this nut hand tight now. Now you just need to snug it a little bit more. You don't need to really make it super tight because you don't want to, you could keep going all day long because you're just going to squeeze down these rubber bushings. But you just want it, snug. Squish them down a little bit. It's probably going to go one more. Maybe a little bit more. And that's good. These are OEM style shocks. They're nothing fancy. They're just kind of what was original. These are Monroe shocks. Just the standard ones. Nothing fancy, but pretty much OEM style. So there's one side. So I'm not gonna show you the other side. The other side is exactly the same. Okay, that's it for doing the front shocks. I like to torque down the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds on these steel rims. Aluminum ones, maybe 75 foot-pounds. And I like to tighten them in 50 foot-pound increments. Do all of them at 50, and then set your torque wrench up to 100, and then do all of them at 100, and you're done. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.